going on to the third method, which is whisking. And as you know from a souffle or a meringue, beating your eggs and sugar makes it light and fluffy. Now Richard's actually got some hot water and he's got 3 eggs and 3 ounces of caster sugar in a bowl, and he's actually going to whisk it. I'm actually letting him do it that way. I'm actually going to do it on the machine because he's got the muscle power and I don't. The reason we do it over heat this way is the heat actually brings the air up through the eggs, and in fact, funnily enough, it's actually quicker than doing it on the machine.
Okay, now we're at ribbon stage. We must take it off the heat now and whisk it till it's cold. Otherwise, if we put flour into a hot mixture, it will go lumpy.
It's something you really can't hurry, isn't it? You've really just got to take your time and do it.
No, I think that's why you're taking the easy way out and using the machine. Okay, this is now ready to add the flour.
Shall I take that?
Yes, would you hold it just for a moment? I'm going to use it again. So with the flour...
That's sifted, isn't it?
That's been sifted onto the paper. We're going to use the whisk, but very, very gently now, just to turn it, and in the air, tap it through.
Now, if you beat it fast at this stage, all you'd do is break down all those air bubbles, isn't it?
Right. Right round the bowl, everywhere. Notice that I'm not actually mixing it in the mixture, it's up in the air, and I'm allowing it to fall back into the bowl. I'm going to bang out the whisk, so as not to waste any. And then using a plastic scraper, take all of the mixture. If you haven't got a plastic scraper, an ice cream
lid, yeah, it's cut down. It's very good, isn't it?
Gets this out pretty quick.
Now again, you've got to be really quick at this stage, don't you? You can't hang around.
So make it to the corners as quickly as you can.
Smooth it out.
Okay. Just a little bit in that corner there.
And what temperature does this get cooked at, Richard?
I'm going to put this one in at 425 or 220 C. So it's 425 Fahrenheit, 220 C. It'll take about 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, let's check this now. I'll show you how to test it when it's cooked. Press down. If it bounces back up again, then it's cooked. Okay, Elaine, thank you.
Enough sugar?
Yeah, it's fine. Now, I'm going to do a balancing trick here, just for a moment. Okay, and straight over. You've got to be a bit brave there. So, I'll now remove the tin.
And we get a delicious aroma.
Okay, now I'm going to take the paper off.
Now look at that.
Okay, gently off. Fantastic. Okay. Right, the sponge is still moving. Right. Take some jam. Now this can be done cold. A good Genoese will roll whether it's hot or cold. So, we'll beat some raspberry jam.
People get very confused about the difference between a sponge and a Genoese. You just explain what the difference is.
Well, there's several types of sponges. This happens to be a Swiss roll fatless sponge. A Genoese has melted butter added to it after the flour has gone in. It's a little bit involved because the butter mustn't be too hot or it mustn't be too cold, because of course it will set when it goes into the mixture. So it's got to be kind of lukewarm. It goes in after the flour,
yes.
yeah.
But this is still basically a Genoese, even though it's just a fatless sponge.
That's right, the whisked egg sponge.
Gosh, that's looking nice.
Okay. Now, to roll this, again, make sure it's moving.
Are you going to trim the edges?
No, I'll trim the edges later, because I know you're waiting to eat them.
Yes.
Actually make that so that it's... And then it's a question now of freeing the cloth and bringing this nice and tightly down and pulling this down to roll it up. Okay. And then you roll it in the very same paper.
Why do you actually do that, Richard?
Well, it will set in that shape then.
Yeah.
It will tend to unroll if you don't wrap it up. If you seal the ends, it will help to keep it moist.
Right. And then you just put it away to let it cool.
Yes, there's quite a few things you can do with Swiss roll, Elaine, apart from just having it as an afternoon pastry. Isn't that right?
Yes, we've got actually a selection of things here of the sort of things that you can do with a Swiss roll. There's obviously the Swiss roll itself that you can just cut up and present for your afternoon tea. What we've got here is the base of a trifle. We've cut the Swiss roll up, lined a nice dish, half a gallon of sherry in it. Actually, I'm exaggerating a little bit there, but do lace it well with your sherry or whatever alcohol you like, your fruit, your custard, your cream, whatever you want to put on it. We've got another Swiss roll here, which we've actually coated with chocolate. The last thing we've got here is a bavois, where we've actually lined a pudding basin with the very thin rolls of Swiss roll, almost like this, but about half the thickness. We've then made up a bavois mix, poured it in, and when it's set and come out, we've actually glazed it with some apricot jam, and as you can see, decorated it with some cream and strawberries or whatever fresh fruit you want.
Isn't that called a Charlotte Royale?
A Charlotte Royale, yes, it is.
Well, perhaps if you'd like to try a more exciting inside to the cake, you could try this simple idea. I've got two cutters here. What I'm doing is pressing on to the sponge. Okay.
So you've actually cut rings out, yes?
Yes. What I'm going to do is swap the middle-sized rings over with the chocolate ones.
Now I can see what you're doing.
Okay. And when the finished cake is assembled...
It looks like a checkerboard.
That's right.
So then you cream them up and with buttercream or something inside, stack them up again, and obviously when you cut it, we end up with this checkerboard effect. Doesn't that look good? The last one we've got to show you is actually an orange gâteau. It's orange flavoured. We've got little orange marzipan, oranges on the top. So it's got sponge fingers around the side. I've tied a ribbon around it, and that's rather nice for after dinner. I think you'll agree that you've seen quite a selection of cakes that you could have for afternoon tea or for your after dinner party.